Stephanie, and today I'll be teaching you how to make homemade shaving cream. We use 4 very simple ingredients here, so it's easy to make, it's extremely cost effective, and making our own creams at home will reduce any sort of skin irritation for those of us that have sensitive skin, and it also limits our exposure to any sort of harsh chemicals. Now, if anybody has any allergies, please adjust these ingredients accordingly. So starting off with our ingredients, we've got our organic soap here, which is used to lather our skin while shaving. We've got aloe vera, which helps soothe our skin. We've got extra virgin coconut oil, which helps condition our skin as we're shaving. We've got witch hazel, which acts as an antiseptic. If you were to cut yourself while shaving, this jumps in and fights any sort of bacteria that's trying to harm you. And then we've got some optional ingredients today, one being lavender oil and peppermint oil. You can choose any sort of essential oil that you like, or if not, you can go with the scent of your soap. That works totally fine too. That just helps perfume your shaving cream. And then we'll move on over to this side of the kitchen and we'll work on our list of tools that we'll be using today. First of all, we'll need a stovetop, and then we've got a cookie cooling tray. If you don't have one of these, it's totally fine. This is optional. We've got a hand mixer here, which I definitely recommend. I wouldn't use a traditional whisk because it just might not do the job for you. We've got a spatula. We have a wet mixing cup. And then we've got some hot pads because we'll be working with hot material today. And then we've got a pastry bag with a coupler. Now if you don't have a pastry bag, it's totally okay to use a Ziploc baggie and just cut the corner off. And it's used the same exact way as just a pastry bag. We'll also be using a cheese grater. And then we've got a heat-safe mixing bowl, like a Pyrex bowl will do. And then we've got a saucepan that you can fit your mixing bowl into to create a double boiler. And then, last but not least, we've got an clean empty container that we can put our finished product in. And I like to just recycle some of the old things that I have around the house, but you can buy empty containers at Walmart for like 99 cents. So now that we've got our list of tools, list of materials, let's get started. Step number 1 to making our homemade shaving cream is to make a double boiler. So we're going to go ahead and grab our saucepan and fill it up about 2 to 3 inches of water. And we want to make sure that when we place our heat-safe bowl on top of our saucepan that the water is not touching the bottom of the bowl. Now that we've got our water in our saucepan, we're going to turn our heat on about medium so we get a slow boil. Now, step number 2, while we're waiting for our water to boil, we're going to go ahead and grab our cheese grater and we're going to grate down our organic soap. Okay, now that we've got our soap grated down, we should have about 1 3/4 cup to 2 cups of grated soap, and our water is at a nice slow boil. So we're just going to sit our heat-safe bowl right on top here. Now while that's kind of warming up a little bit, we're going to go ahead and measure out 1 cup of our extra virgin coconut oil. So scoop a little bit of that out. A little bit more. So the ratio is about 1 to 2. 1 cup of coconut oil to 2 cups of grated soap. So we've got about 1 cup there. Just go ahead and add it right in. Give it a little stir. The coconut oil has an extremely low melting point, so it shouldn't take very much to get the coconut oil to melt down. So right after mixing in our coconut oil and it's starting to melt just a little bit, we're going to go ahead and add our witch hazel. We're going to add 1/3 cup of witch hazel to our mixture. There we go. And we'll just pour that right in. And now we wait. Now that our mixture has melted down to almost a pudding-like consistency, we're going to go ahead and remove it from the heat and let it cool on our cookie cooling rack. Now, a little bit of troubleshooting. If your mixture doesn't seem to be quite thick enough, you can always add a little bit more soap. And just kind of grate it in, repeat the process, warm it up, make sure it melts down, and thicken it up so it's, like I said, almost pudding-like. Now, after your mixture cools for about 5 minutes, you want to be able to grab a little bit of your mixture, swirl it around on top, and whatever falls off of your spoon should sit right on top of that surface. It shouldn't melt right in right away. So that takes about 5 minutes. Okay, so now that our mixture has cooled for about 5 to 7 minutes, we can go ahead and add our aloe vera. I've got about 1/2 cup here. I'll just add that right on in. Give it a light fold with your spatula. Go ahead and remove this from our cooling tray. And then we're going to add our optional essential oils. Going to add a couple of drops of lavender, about 7 drops. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And then I'm going to add about 5 drops of our peppermint. There we go. Now we're going to do our first mix. So we'll go ahead and grab your hand mixer. Plug it in. Then we're going to mix on low just to incorporate our ingredients. Probably about 45 seconds. So our mixture should look nice and airy. There are going to be lots of bubbles in there. Now we're going to let this cool for about an hour so it comes completely down to room temperature. And it's totally okay to leave it on your countertop, or you can set it right back onto your cooling tray to encourage an even cool. Okay, now that our mixture has completely cooled and it's down to room temperature, it's going to look pretty thick, almost like a whipped cream consistency. Now, if your mixture doesn't totally look like this, go ahead and pop it in the fridge to help thicken it up a little bit for about 20 minutes. That should do the trick for us. So now what we're going to do is we're going to mix it one more time for about 45 seconds, and this time we're going to mix it on high. That way it incorporates more air into our mixture so it's light and fluffy, almost like a mousse consistency. So go ahead and mix this up. Nice and airy and nice and fluffy. Okay, so our whipped mixture here is nice and smooth and really airy. So now what we'll do, go ahead and grab your pastry bag, and if you don't have a pastry bag, like I said earlier, you can use your Ziploc bag, cut a corner out, and all you have to do is load your mixture into your bag. Just put it right in there, then you squeeze it down into one corner and grab it, just like you would a pastry bag. So with our bag here, I like to Turn it inside out. Make a cone into your hand. And grab your spatula. Load a little bit at a time. Make sure you don't get a ton of air bubbles in there. As you're loading, you're moving your fingers up along the pastry bag, so you're making a longer, wider cone as you move along. You add more material. So that should be good for now. Go ahead and give her a twist. Open up your container. Like I said, you can use any container around the house, or you can pick some up at Walmart. And we'll just pipe this right on in. Oops. Try not to cover the entire opening of your container, otherwise it won't go in. Alright, we've just about got it filled up there. Go ahead and grab our cap, put it right on. And there you go, you've got your finished homemade shaving cream.